going to be...
Yeah, sure.
Pinky swear. All right, bet. Yo, son, I'm mad that you didn't tell me about this, Mo. I didn't know that they had some smoke over there at Gillie shit.
Oh, with the dude that used to do the show before them?
Look, you don't even say his name. Yeah.
I forgot his name. No disrespect.
Dev.
I forgot his name. Yeah.
Dev is his name. Say his name.
Dev.
That's not, in this situation, that's not.
Oh.
That doesn't work in this
All right,
situation.
fine. Yeah, why you didn't tell me about this little... And I only mention it here because it's important to talk about this shit here. Because what I'm noticing is, and I'll just say this blanket statement, a lot of people are jumping into this podcast game and this podcast world because it's trendy and you see some traction happening, some momentum. It's a developing field and genre. And you're not really treating this like a business. Like, I get the optic of it is to sit around and kick it with your friends. And I use friends loosely because most of these podcasters don't be friends. No. They're just selling the illusion of friendship.
Like us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like us.
Yeah, but we marry the illusion. Like, I don't talk to y'all during the week. Like, yo, this shit was working so great for us, we deaded the relationship.
Yeah, no, we got rid of the friendship.
Yeah.
It's better that way.
Yeah. Hey, and I really appreciate that you guys can come here and hit the on switch.
Shows a lot about
it. Oh, yeah, man, we killing this shit. But so, all right, so long story, a little less long. Gillie and Wallow hit podcast $1 million worth of game. They were doing however many episodes they did, and they did this alongside a gentleman named Dev. Dev is not really he's not a part of their core and friendship group, but he did add something to the show. So from what I gather here, they did about 85 episodes for free pro bono with no sponsor, no integrations, nobody backing them, right?
It was Dev's studio. It was his facility. His
Oh, that's a big part. That's a big part to take note in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this was just on SoundCloud, whatever. They just put it out on their own.
Yeah. So from what I gather, nobody made any money when nobody was making any money. Then when the Barstool deal came into play, Gillie offered a salary. You will get X amount of dollars for every episode moving forward. And Dev's position was, I've been here from the start. I do not want a salary. I want 15% of everything. So when his Barstool money came, Dev was asking for 15% of his Barstool money. To which Gillie said, man, if you don't get the fuck out of my face, no, I'm not giving you that. But I will do the right thing and raise your salary to this appropriate number.
You have to specify whose point of view is this right now that you're speaking from?
I'm just pulling what I gathered from both sides.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just what they're beefing over.
You've heard both sides, and that's what you took from it. Okay.
Yeah. Damn, where was I at just now?
15%. I'll give 15%. I'll raise your salary with his
Gillie said, get the fuck out of here. He felt like he was being overly generous with the offer, which totaled something like $70,000 base or $50,000 base, not including tour.
Yeah.
So Dev was like, okay, well, if you're paying me for this number, then you owe me X amount of dollars for the 89 episodes that we did for free already. To which Gillie said, no, if you don't get the fuck out of here, I'm not doing none of that shit. Dev, in his interview that he released, was posting receipts of contracts and lawyers going back and forth. And he was saying, he was highlighting how in the paperwork, he is titled as a producer / editor. So his role on the show is, he accused Gillie of downplaying his role on the show. To which Gillie responded with, nigga, you was a nobody before you got in the show. If you so poppin', why you can't get nothing else poppin'? And no, you deaded yourself. I was asking for this amount of hours from you, and you get paid more than anything else, and you shitted on me. So no, now you can't come back. It's over. And he said that pretty aggressively, and he said that in a real Gillie way, if you know it. The Dev kid seemed to be real respectful. It didn't seem like he really wanted no smoke, but it did sound like he was unclear about the business. So before I ask you gentlemen where y'all fall on this, I just want to take this time to tell all podcasters out there, old, new, old, just have your understanding. I won't call it have your business together. Have your understanding in order.
Have your people understanding in order.
Well, you and your people
before business, you should
before it gets booming.
I'll put it this way. Starting with that being Dev's studio. Again, I don't know much about this, so if I'm talking out my ass, my apologies to talk about somebody else's business. If it's Dev's studio and we get a bag and I have accumulated some costs in having you guys in my studio for this long, yeah, it would be nice if you gave me a little back pay to cover the expenses that we were all doing pro bono. I don't want to make money off of it. Let's just cover the expenses that we've had for 85 episodes because I've been coming out of pocket while you guys haven't. I could get Dev's beef there. For sure.
I'm not retroactively paying nobody.
Oh, no. I'm not saying there's no paperwork, there's no nothing. That's why I said you need to know people first.
That would be a good gesture.
Yeah, that's what I'm speaking of. Morally, if you were to say, all right, you just got a bag, you got this bag off these 85 episodes, and you guys are great at it, but I've been coming out of pocket because I believed in y'all. Sure. Throw me some bread for cost. I'm not looking for a profit. I want to break even off what you guys have done in my studio.
Yeah, but don't come to me today for 90 episodes that we did.
I mean, I'm not Dev, so I don't know exactly what those costs may have been.
I mean, listen, Maul just told me that it was his studio. I didn't even know.
Well, you didn't mention that earlier.
This is from, I spoke to Wallow, and I believe that's the story he told me, that was Dev's studio. That they were using his studio, I believe.
I want to say, Wallow has not said a word about any of this. There's no rant. There's no footage of him replying to Dev. He's handled this like a gentleman.
No, my point is because a lot of you pay for studio time, which if you're a smart studio ends up being profit because you're covering the costs already plus profit when you do your hourly rate for a studio, engineer costs, all that shit. I'm saying, fuck me making a profit. Just let me break even on the expenses that I've had to get us to this 85 because it is a whole team thing there. Of course, Dev would not be in the position.
So you're gonna cut your nose to spite your face, though?
No,
we just got this bar stool deal.
Oh no. I agree there. If I'm Gillie and Wallow, maybe I'll throw just to cover costs. I don't know what the costs were. They could have been nothing. I don't fucking know. I'm just saying if I had a lot of studio costs in my studio, yeah, I might want a little bit of bread.
What if it's cheaper for me to go get a new studio?
Okay.
Yeah, but see, again,
that's just good gesture shit.
It always comes down.
No, it's gesture morally. That's all I'm speaking of. I'm not saying Gillie owe him that.
Yeah, but the good gesture should come from the good gesture giver. Like, if you have to bring it up.
Oh, no.
Then that nigga probably.
But that's why it just always goes back to, if you want to know exactly how much people fuck with you or where your relationship stands, just put money in between y'all. And that'll tell you everything you know. Because niggas can say, oh, that's my boy, that's my man.
But they didn't grow up together.
No, I'm not saying they did. I'm just saying.
I don't know if they claim to be besties. He just added to the show.
No.
That don't mean nothing.
Exactly. But I'm just saying, if you want to know where you stand with people, just put money in.
Well, it do mean something because we can argue about your value to this show. And that's where I get the biggest of their differences coming from.
Well, listen, I'll put it this way, and me defending Dev here.
If Dev did the studio, the timestamp, some editing, and I'm talent on the mic, I would be thinking that my value is pretty high.
I've on a crew friendship, or even not even friendship, but we're all in this together thing. I've put up bread before, or I put in a lot of expenses into business, and we've gotten the bag. I haven't even thought about what happened before that. So no, me personally, no, I'm letting that go. Like, if we're in this together and moving forward, fuck all those expenses before. It is what it is at this point. Let's focus on the next episodes and how we're gonna get this money. I think what happened with Dev was he felt he was shorted, and while he was being shorted, he said, all right, well, let me get my money for the other bullshit if we're not in this as partners. We're in this as you're throwing me a fee. That's all. I'm not saying I would move like Dev. I'm not saying I would move like Dev.
That's what I'm interested to hear from you.
No, I'm gonna sit down. If we did this together and we're moving forward together, I'm not gonna think about those old expenses. But I don't know what Dev's situation is. He may need it.
It's hard to say without knowing the full details.
And I don't want to make this a personal Dev thing because I don't know Dev at all. But I can see in the situation that someone would go, all right, well, I was coming out my pocket to boost your podcast. Now you're saying it's yours, it's not mine. Yeah, if it's yours, pay for what you just fucking did then. If it ain't mine, if I'm not part of it, pay for the fucking expenses then. If you want to be a boss, act like a boss now.
Yeah.
Pay for your shit.
It's always tough because at the end of the day, it's like the chemistry that they had, that was dope. You know what I mean? So it's like for money or business to get in the way of that and fuck
over
that up.
15% is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's always tough getting into business with people because everybody is down and riding, and when there's no money involved, everybody's a rider. But then once the money come into play, it's everybody start thinking with a CEO mind.
You don't think it's the opposite of that sometimes? You don't think it's when there's no money involved?
It can be, but I'm just saying
now when it's money, it's like everybody.
I'm just saying when you. No, it definitely happens that way too. But what I'm saying is, if the person was there riding when there wasn't no money, you know what I'm saying? Because you can look around and know who's around you when there wasn't no money. You know the faces, you know the niggas that's down with you. But now when the money comes and shit gets different, that's the unfortunate part because it's like, bro, we've been broke together. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like